So Trump keeps saying that a shutdown is something that he wants, something that'll give him more flexibility. And of course, there's some truth to that, but it's mostly just his toddler level of negotiating skills. Sadly for Schumer and Jeffries, something that might actually work, but so far so good. Now, I've actually been through a couple of shutdowns myself, and depending on what the president does, they can cause quite a bit of pain. But that's not something to fear. Let me tell you why. And personally, this is something that I would be affected by on a number of levels, but it's still worth it. But first, I want to backtrack just a little bit to the thing that seems to often defeat authoritarianism in the end, and that's arrogance. Think Hitler going to war with Russia, or George W. thinking that he could take down Iraq quickly. With the Trump administration, we've got mountains full of arrogance to work with. Now back to the shutdown. So the biggest area of flexibility for the president is determining essential versus non-essential workers. But for most federal agencies, this doesn't affect them that much because they're deemed automatically essential. Things like the military and law enforcement, but also entitlement agencies like Social Security. Now, what Trump's going to do, and what he did last time, is expand how much of the staff is expected versus how many are furloughed. Expected means that you have to work without pay. If the shutdown goes long enough, this would likely result in some turnover. This is something that Trump likes, but at his own peril. Eventually, services will slow or halt, and people will be pissed. And most people blame the president for current conditions. That's why Joe Biden could never get away from inflation. Now, Trump has made it pretty far down this road of authoritarianism, but he's not quite ready for everything to boil over just yet. And because of that, this is something that would likely just blow up in his face, pushing some Republicans in Congress to try to get out of it. Now, there are also a lot of employees and agencies that Trump can deem not essential. This is in areas of discretionary funding, like with SNAP. But here you have the same problem, and especially in red states. Unfortunately, his ICE raids and unconstitutional law enforcement and military actions will continue whether we shut down or not, so that's not really at issue here. But historically, the longer a shutdown goes on, the more blame the president and the majority party get. Look, I wish we were not in this place where we had to accept possibly more pain to get things to change, to open people's eyes. But we are, and we just have to deal with that. Again, this could put me personally in a world of hurt, but it's got to be done. In this kind of situation, we've got to fight with every pain point that we got. And unfortunately, thanks to Schumer, we wasted better options, but this is what we're left with. We force Republicans to shut it all down and protest the shutdown like never before. And even use that time to start setting up alternative institutions. So, for instance, medical trade associations taking over some of the roles of the CDC and NIH, and also the decoupling of blue states. Maybe even going so far as to set up single payer systems like we may eventually do here in California. Show the people in those blue states how the other side can support them and does support them while the other doesn't. Trump is both weak and arrogant, and so is everyone around him. Let's use that.